talk of the paddock for the last couple of races. They really do believe him to be one of the special ones. We have seen a crop of rookies come up in the last several years who are really doing the business. He is the next in line.
Okay, so here we are, the last race of the 2025 Rookies Cup season. It's our 19th season in Rookies Cup. The Cup has been decided, but so much on the line here in these final laps, the 15 laps of Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup action for 2025. Tension, revs, and they're away. Who makes a good start? Vader was absolutely superb off the line yesterday. Again, but can he get inside Brian Uriarte into the first corner? No, this time it's Brian Uriarte around the inside, and he's going to be a hard man to catch.
We're watching Giulio Pugliese and Marco Morelli get a little bit swamped there, but tell you who else got swamped. Hakim didn't actually switch to the inside. A couple of riders switched. He went to the outside. A couple of other riders went to the inside, and I think he lost a place or two off the line. But as we come through turns 5 and 6, then all relatively safely through at that point. Onto the little short back straight we come. Uriarte, Pratama, Gonzalez, Mitani, near enough the same as yesterday's podium.
And this is absolutely crucial, the right-hander onto the backs, when they get round here onto the back. So through the left and up the inside, it's David Gonzalez who takes the lead. He's determined to make up for yesterday's disappointment. And
Brian saying, get behind me, stick behind me, I'll take you far away. And I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah. Right, now then the drive onto the back straight. I think Vader wasn't getting out of the corner yesterday as well as he needs to, and I think he's got the same problem here. He's too tight into that right-hander, and there's Brian, those guys getting much better drive onto the back straight.
But I'll tell you what, full throttle through Curvone with a couple of damp patches there. They're not short of any kind of courage at 8:53 in the morning here in Misano then. So Uriarte, crown champion yesterday, in it for the win here today as well. Wants the sign-off from Rookies Cup. The equal most successful rookie ever. What a title that would be heading up to Moto3 next year.
At the moment it stands with Andrew Piqueras on 11 and Brian Uriarte has 10. So with David Gonzalez right on its tail, Vader Batama in third place. They flash across the start-finish line for the first time.
Christian Daniel Jr. can now take his long lap penalty. He's down in 14th place is the American. So he's got a couple of laps to actually try and take that. Got pushed back through the order to 14th on that opening lap. Not the one he would have wanted. Meanwhile, Beñat Fernandez, who he collided with yesterday, up into 11th place now.
Yes, so Beñat had a wrenched arm yesterday, but it doesn't seem to be slowing down at the moment. He's doing very well.
So we have Danish in 7th place, just behind Marco Morelli, up 3 places from his starting point on the grid. Luca Agostinelli, the number 9, the Vietnamese rider in 8th position. This is by far the best we've seen from him so far this year. Really great to see. This is what rookie's about. You know, you got that one more opportunity to potentially come back yesterday. You can swing the opinions of the rider coaches, etc.
Right. And there's the 34 of Mitani. Ahead of him, we saw Vader again taking an odd line onto that back straight. I really think somehow he's got to get that sorted out, otherwise he's handicapping himself terribly as this race goes on.
Mitani there in 4th position, buoyed by the confidence from yet another podium yesterday. Christian Daniel takes his long lap penalty, slots into 21st position, just behind Lucas Brown, the first-year British Talent Cup graduate.
And Vader Mitani gets pushed aside there. He's lost a couple of places. Sen Mitani and also to the 31 of Giulio Pugliese. He's not having a fun time of it at the moment is Vader Batama. There's Marco Morelli on the 95. He's moving up as well. He's got in front of Vader Batama. So Vader lost about 3 places on that lap.
So Gonzalez looks to the inside of Uriarte, but he lets the brakes off, and a few riders really struggling there in the braking zone. I wonder if they hit a wet patch and tucked the front almost, but Mitani lost a place, as did Morelli, trying to avoid him essentially. Or did someone just brake a bit earlier? I'm not sure, but whatever the case is, Pugliese now slots into 2nd with David Gonzalez just behind. Pratama back up to 4th.
And Danish and Pratama are right together there. They're sorting themselves out for the 2nd place in the Cup.
Danish up into 5th now as well, just off the back of this group. He's the real beneficiary of the melee that ensued, turns 1 and 2. But it's Pugliese now leading.
The Italian in front of the home crowd, and there's plenty of people to cheer him on this weekend. He wasn't thrilled with yesterday's race at all, but this is his chance to shine in front of his home crowd. Oh, and he's looking determined, weaving and bucking around there as he on the brakes, but he gets it turned okay.
Got Vader Patama just losing a place to Danish there. So Danish, well, this is what happens then. Danish back to his very best. He moves alongside Brian Ariarte, looks up the inside of Curvone, but thinks better of it. Well, with first place in the championship lost, Danish now really wants that second place to move up into the Moto3 World Championship with.
And it still is the number 31 in front, Giulio Pugliese, the 16-year-old Italian.
We are all concertinaing up, aren't we? Vader Patama just off the back. Marco Morelli 6th, Pitani 7th. Karpushin's there as well. He obviously had the crash yesterday with Vader Patama, and that, which, you know, very unfortunate. No long lap for Karpushin. I mean, that was a pure racing incident. When there's that many riders in such a short, literal space, you know, things are going to go wrong, aren't they?
And fastest lap of the race so far for Guillaume Plante, the Frenchman, in 10th place.
And then Martinez, the Venezuelan, had that yesterday as well. 146.5 was substantially slower than yesterday, but with the wet patches around, that's no surprise.
Yeah, as you say, it's all concertinaed up very much, hasn't it? There's only, you know, a couple of seconds covering the top 19 or so.
Carter Thompson up into 12th place. Yesterday, he finished up in 6th position. That is a really, really good ride from the Australian, up from 12th position. He said, it's all right. Yeah, I bet it is. Anything less than a podium is not satisfactory for Carter.
No, indeed. He needs to just have that great result at the end of the season that he's, you know, he had some really superb wins, and of course a winner, you know, in race 2. So he's got to get back to that sort of form.
The step up that Carter Thompson's made this year has been very, very noticeable. Australia certainly have another name to cheer for in the future in World Championships.
Of course, it's his 3rd season, so he will not be back in the Rookies Cup next season.
Holmes has gone down. Oh, that is such a shame. That is not the way he wants to sign off from his 2nd year in Rookies. Joel Pons, one of the loveliest characters that we have.
But it's his 6th fall in a race, the Rookies Cup race this season.
So
back with the leader then. It is Brian Ariarte, the cap champion, ahead of the number 11 of David Gonzalez.
David Gonzalez 2nd, Pugliese 3rd, Patama, then Danish in 5th place. Malaysia versus Indonesia for 2nd in the championship. We remind you, 1 point between them.
Elbows out.
Literally, yeah.
Okay, so Brian still has the advantage, but up in the 2nd place, Giulio Pugliese.
And Danish moves up on Patama there into turn 1. A very nice, tight but clean move from the Malaysian then. Really, really nice indeed.
Oh, goodness gracious me. And those damp patches, it's still cool, of course. Those damp patches are hanging around, but there's mostly a dry line. But you just got to be careful you don't get offline. Maybe that limits some of the overtaking possibilities.
Pugliese had a big moment on the exit of turn 6 there, loses a bunch of places. Danish then into 2nd place, ahead of Patama then. So it's 1, 2, 3 in the championship, 1, 2, 3 in the race, but not for long! Matani gets sideways into turn 8 then, moving up into 4th position, the Japanese rider. How about this as an advert for the Asia Talent Cup? 3, 2, 3 and 4 Asia Talent Cup graduates. Yeah, brilliant.
Great stuff. And it is the 54 now that takes up the 2nd place, Vader Patama. Of course, as things finish like this, he would take 2nd place back from Hakim Danish in the cup points.
I should also correct myself. Those are the 3 Asia Talent Cup champions the last 3 years as well up there as well. So brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Superb stuff. Right, but Brian now has an advantage of what it was.
Oh, Mitani, sorry, I'm inside again. Yeah. Foot off the footrest and everything, Peter.
Absolutely, he is so determined, isn't he, to end his season on a high note. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And I said, you know, he's looking hopefully to impress people to get a ride. So Marco Morelli has his ride already, but he isn't slowing down at all. He's right on Zen's tail and ahead of Hakim Danish.
What a character. What a character. Go on, Morelli as well, up in the third place too. This is his signing off ride from Rookies Cup. Not only has he passed 3 years, but he's already announced to join the Aspar team alongside Maximo Quiles in Moto3 next year. No plan B he came into Rookies Cup with. Plan A has well and truly worked out.
That's right, and he's looking for his first win of this season. He had 2 wins. He won in Harris and Aston last year in Rookies Cup, but although he's got a couple of thirds and a second yesterday, he'd love to sign off with another victory. There he is, the number 95, the Argentine 18-year-old.
And he's got the 95 of Lightning McQueen on top of his helmet as well. He really, a little tribute to the Cars film, as well as he moves into second place. Vader tried to get it back on him, but missed out that time around. He also, Morelli, he loves the inside line here at turns 9 and 10. We saw that yesterday. It nearly brought him a bit of grief as well, as he cut it too inside a couple of times, nearly clipping the back wheels of various riders.
That's right, but assuming that he kept the same gearing as yesterday, he and Brian are on the short gearing, so he can do that tight line and still get a good drive. On the green stuff, Brian Ariarte has to watch out. You know, too many excursions onto the green and he's going to have a long lap penalty. But he's obviously trying to get away, and he's not getting away from Marco Morelli.
Yeah, Morelli definitely catching him sector by sector, isn't he? And as long as Patama, Mitani and Danish, as well as Gonzalez, keep it fairly tight as well, they'll be back on it. In fact, it's not the unusual overtaking place for David Gonzalez. Very nicely done indeed. Well done, that man.
He'll go anywhere, won't he, David? He's a man on form superbly and very much, you know, hoping to pick up a Moto3 ride for next year. Superb.
Marco Morelli was a second quicker than everybody else on track that time around, near enough. For 145.3, goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's incredible, wasn't it? Absolutely superb.
Morelli's absolutely in the groove. This is like what we saw from one of his 2 wins back last year. No, it was actually Morelli who set the fastest lap. That graphic on your screen is wrong.
Okay, right. So, Brian Ariarte has the advantage. He's now got Marco Morelli locked onto the rear Pirelli of that KTM.
Tinez has gone down, unfortunately, at turn 2. That's a shame. I think the same happened yesterday, didn't it? Tinez went wide yesterday. Sorry, finished 14th, a couple of points, but fastest lap of the race earlier in the gravel this time around, unfortunately, for the Venezuelan.
I need to rejoin the race, so maybe he'll pick up, you know, a place again. Here is the 54 of Vader Fatama. Fell off yesterday, but now is wanting to deal with the number 13 of Hakim Danish. He's a couple of places ahead of him at the moment, and that would give him second place in the Cup. But it's Brian Ariarte, our Cup champion, leading with Marco Morelli right on his tail.
Still all to play for, as we know, in Rookies Cup. In this final race of the year, Mitani and Patama, absolutely brilliant, as close as you like. They are not shy one bit, are those boys?
No, that's right. I mean, Zen is really good at wedging himself a gap, isn't he? He just will sort of put his elbows in and squeeze through.
What a character. What a character. Absolutely love it. Gonzalez moves to the inside. Up the inside, and Morelli there, the 95. Looks for a little bit of space to get first as well, but gets the door slammed shut by Ariarte. Oh, just sensational. And there we go. Gonzalez was the fastest rider of the race last time around.
Superb stuff. And in something to...
This is down, Peter. No! Oh, Hakim.
Well,
what a shame.
I mean, that's pretty much done chances of him taking second
Where
in the Cup.
was this? Oh, down at turn 1. Oh, Hakim, you break my heart. Oh, what a shame. That's not how you want to sign off from rookies.
No, Marco Morelli has the lead now. Marco Morelli takes the lead for the first time in this race. He's got his head down, and Danish rejoins the race, but he's obviously going to be out of the points. And Vader Fatama just has to sort of finish, really, to pick up a couple of points to go back in front of Hakim Danish in the battle for second place in the Cup.
That's such a pride shame, isn't it? Goodness me, well... We turn our attention back then, so it could well be Ariarte and Vader, your top 2. But who will win the final race of the year? Morelli leads from Gonzalez, who really wants that 4th position in the standings in his debut season in rookies, and Mitani wants another podium as well. There is Danish limping around again then.
it's something that that Marco Morelli said yesterday. He said, you know, when you're aware that the guys around you are battling for the cup and you're not in the running, he said some part of you wants to say, okay, I better, you know, keep away from them. He said, but I don't think like that. He said, you've just got to race and not make any mistakes, and that's what he did superbly yesterday. Maybe he's a little bit even more care to the wind today because he's out front and he's ahead of the number 11 of David Gonzalez.
Your respect is Marco Morelli, isn't he? Really like that attitude from him, and this is him back to his very, very best. What a way to sort of announce yourself onto the Moto3 grid permanently. You will be seeing him actually in Moto3 for the rest of the year as he fills in as the number 90. I think he's 95 in Moto3 as well, but I've already seen him a couple of times. But we'll be seeing him permanently as well next year as well.
Right, we're into the second part of the race now, and Marco Morelli still has the advantage, but David Gonzalez looking for a way past any time. Brian Uriarte has been pushed back there to the back of that pack, but I don't think he's going to just hang in there too long. He's already passed, is it Sen Mitani to take up fourth place. Vader Fatama and Brian goes inside. That's an unusual line for him, but he's got that low gear. He can get the drive out. And he does so. He's alongside Vader Fatama, 51 and 54, side by side down the back straight, ahead of the 34 of Sen Mitani through the super far flat out right-hander. And Brian not allowing Marco Morelli or David Gonzalez to get away. He wants to get back on the tail there. Just the five of them now. They really have split away from Karpushin and the rest.
Yeah, 1.6 the gap was last time around, but Karpushin, you know, very, very strong rider, set personal best lap time last time around, was half a second quicker than the leaders. So will he be able to respond with 6 laps to go? Well, Morelli has.
Well, that's right. I mean, as you say, it's doable, isn't it? That gap is not huge. Morelli, the fastest lap of the race so far.
Really pulled the pin, haven't they? Yeah, they have really pulled the pin, big style, as they cross the line. Karpushin a full 2.5 seconds adrift, actually. That went up big time in the final sector alone. So this is a real chasing group. I don't think they're going to be able to catch back on. They've got to do something very special. Morelli's doing what he did back in Assen last year. He's just basically saying, I'm absolutely having it. If you're quick enough, come with. If not, I'll see you at Part Ferme, chaps.
That's right. Now, Benyat Fernandez, as I say, he's carrying a wrenched arm into this. Also carrying a sort of a small injury is Sen Mitani. Oh, the inside goes Brian Uriarte to take second place from David Gonzalez. Superb stuff.
Going to rename him Larry Lunge after that one, because that was brilliant.
And then it was the David Gonzalez move, really, wasn't it, on the brakes? But yeah, anyway, he replayed that superbly. So now Sen Mitani is at the back of that group. He came into the weekend carrying a wrenched shoulder and said that in the first race he just hung in the group, you know, because he wanted to save the shoulder as much as possible. Then over the last couple of laps, he said, I just closed my mind to the pain, closed my mind, looked ahead and went for it. And he said, I'm going to do the same thing in race 2. So that is why, as much as anything, Zen is sitting there in 5th place rather than battling hammer and tongs at every corner with the guys ahead of him.
Well, there we go. Smart man, smart man. If we look back down the order then, it's Karpushin and Benyat Fernandez, Ramadipa, Plonk, Pugliese's fallen off the lead.
We almost lost Morelli.
Oh, that was a big moment, wasn't it? And he's still keeping it pinned. Uriarte, though, responded. They're getting faster and faster, lap by lap, 144.9 this time around. Well, this race is absolutely on, isn't it? Morelli decides to is he doing that because maybe a wet patch caught him out and he wants somebody else to take charge, or what? I don't know. Or is he just a bit spooked and needs to gather himself again?
Well, yeah, you know, he knows there's a few laps to go and he could afford just to follow Brian for a corner or two, because he's not going to get away from him, is he? No, 3 abreast behind Brian Uriarte, but Marco Morelli holds on to second place ahead of Vader Fatama.
That's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well then, Leo Ramersdorfer into 9th place as well as we look back down the order. Lennox Famara as well, the Swiss rider. This is the best we've seen from him. Really, really good stuff. Congratulations to him for that ride. However he finishes up, this is really good. As we see, Danish has gone down again, Peter, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
That'll be him down and out of the race. And that's your lot from Hakim.
That's not a way to end it. But anyway, you know, let's hope, let's trust that he's absolutely okay.
There he is,
He's
trudging
walking
away.
And of course, the Alpine Stars Tech Air suit has gone off there and blown up and saved him from injury. And these the Alpine Stars Tech Air suits had 2 canisters, so even after his first fall, he can get up. The thing will self-deflate, ride again, and it will go off a second time if he falls off again, which of course he's just done. It won't re-inflate the third time. Anyway, right, 5 laps to go. It's Brian Uriarte. And not quickest laps from those guys. This time around, Marco Morelli, David Gonzalez, Mitani has passed Pratama.
Oh, Ramastorfer and Agostinelli and Singapore all bogged down. I think must have been at the same corner. That is a disaster for their final race of the year. That's not what they would have wanted at all, and wow, they've gotten quite a way.
That's right. Well, they're up and walking.
Yeah.
At least 2 of the 3 are up and walking.
Yeah, that's good to see.
Oh dear. And
so it's all going off in the final.
Yeah,
in the final set of corners.
Just got a track limits warning, so he's got to take care of himself. Otherwise, he's going to be doing the long lap.
Are we going to see a replay or not? Yes, we are.
No.
Oh, it's Hakim.
We're going to see Hakim's.
This is Hakim's crash down to turn 1 again. Peter, dearie me. Unfortunately,
Gentle.
got biffed by his bike, and then the others. Oh, that was a big crash in the middle of the track. That is not what they want at all. But fortunately,
looks
all
like they're
running
all
away from it. Good
they're
to
all
see.
getting up. Yeah, that's all we care about at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Right.
Back to the front. Here we go.
Yeah, Brian Uriarte has the advantage. He's the cup winner. He's the man to beat, and it's Marco Morelli who's trying to do just that. Just 3.5 laps remaining.
Looking up the inside, guarding his line, looking for potential overtake, thinking better of it. Other riders are off the track. You see the scrapes on the asphalt there as that sort of happened. So,
Van Kruyten track limits warning.
Track limits warning for Mounty as well. Happened for Brown, Daniel Tassini, can't push in as well. Modignane.
Well, just 3 laps remaining then. Now with 5 guys, you still can't really have a last lap plan. I've talked about this with Brian Uriarte several times through the year, and he says, you know, you can think about what you might do on the last lap, but really you just got to deal with whatever happens. And he says, I just do whatever I can at the time. And of course, you know, that's exactly what happened yesterday. He didn't know coming down the back straight that David Gonzalez was going to outbrake himself, but he was positioned there just to take advantage. And as he said, you know, I was braking super late, and when David went even deeper, he thought, well, something's going to happen. He hung back and just nipped inside him to take the win. That was absolutely superb stuff.
Ryan, the last of the late breakers here as well in towards turn 8. He guards his line superbly, commanding out front. You can go off track there, that's blue, it's not green, that's all fine. It's all starting to get a bit tasty now. Gonzalez push back a little bit, Mitani give a bit of pressure, and Vader.
Yeah, as I say, I think that is still Zen Mitani not fighting his way, not sticking his elbows out at the moment. There's 3 laps to go, 2.5 laps to go. I think he's going to do the same as yesterday. We're going to see his best on the last couple of laps. So it's still Brian Uriarte that leads over Marco Morelli. David Gonzalez, disappointed not to win yesterday, so determined to do it today.
Tell you what, Brian is, and certainly was yesterday, the most cunning of all of them, wasn't he? I mean, that's what it's about when you're just preparing for anything to happen. You know,
that's right. But
he's got to take advantage. You're like a fox, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was a battle of 4 men, and he was 4th at one point around that last lap yesterday.
Yeah, really, really impressive. Well, it's all about to go off well and truly. Ramadipa in the background taking charge of the chasing pack. 4.5 seconds of gap now. Bennett Fernandez just behind him. Pugliese, Famara into the top 10. Car pushing 10th. Thompson 11th. Klopp, Daniel Modignane are in that group as well.
And I think Vader has got to do something different going down the back straight. And up the inside comes Morelli to take the lead from Brian Uriarte. Third is David Gonzalez.
Straight back.
Yeah, he does. Oh, and they're getting a ride back home, and it's good to see they're okay. Yeah, and I think Vader has got to do something a bit different. Otherwise, he will struggle. He won't, you know, down that back straight on the last lap. Right up.
Oh, Gonzalez looks up the inside, but it does go. No, it doesn't. Well, he does a little bit because Brian squirts back up the inside there again. That's what we're talking about. You know, that you just can't imagine how close their wheels are to touching each other.
That's right.
It's just so extreme.
It is just a lap and a half remaining. Now, if Mitani has anything left in his left shoulder, he's about to use it because he's got to start making a play towards the front.
Through Curvone, they come for the penultimate time. Uriarte leads Gonzalez. He goes wide again.
He's on the green again. You know, two things. He can't afford... He hasn't had a warning yet, I don't think. But he can't afford to do that on the last lap. Otherwise, he's very likely to lose the place. He knows that, though. I'd be surprised to see him make that mistake on the last lap. But anyway, we'll see. OK, so Brian Uriarte leads. A lap and a half remaining.
5 riders in the lead group, only 3 will end up on the podium. 1 winner. This is it, the final lap of Rookies Cup 2025 on its way. The champion leads them over the line, but who will sign off in P1?
Put your money down. Come on, man.
It's going to be Vader Pratama.
No, Brian has got it. Brian has got it. You know, and I'm gonna put the money on Morelli.
No,
Morelli.
You just named 3 riders, nearly.
Right, so the last lap. Up the inside comes Vader Pratama, pushing Marco Morelli back to 4th place. Mitani is yet to show his hand. Brian Uriarte leads from David Gonzalez.
How good is their run onto this little short straight down here, down to turn 8. Big overtaking opportunity coming up. David Gonzalez is going to go for it. Vader needs the slipstream to try and catch him back up.
But Brian Uriarte has to... Up the inside comes David Gonzalez, but he can't do it. No, Brian's too good around the outside. Ramadincha has a track limits warning.
And Morelli still looking up the inside there. Brian's eking out a bit of an advantage. It's all going to come down to the back straight, Peter.
Yeah, and what kind of drive they have onto the back straight. It's Vader Pratama. Again, he's wide. He hasn't got that drive. It's Brian Uriarte with the slipstream David Gonzalez. And Vader's got to catch up because, you know, he hadn't got the drive out into the back straight.
The question is, Peter, is it going to be Larry Lunge, Uriarte to the win, or is it going to be Dive Bomb David in 2nd place? That's what we want to see.
And Brian Uriarte goes... Brian Uriarte has the advantage, but he's going to hold off David Gonzalez. No, it's Brian. It's Brian again. And he's got it. He won't be passed through the last corners. And he's going to pick up the record number of victories. Vader Pratama is there in 3rd place, but David Gonzalez.
David.
So Brian's going to get the drive out, but he can't pass him on the line. It's David Gonzalez who wins the final Rookies Cup of the year. David Gonzalez over Brian Uriarte.
It's Dive Bomb David's done it. What a boy. What a win ahead of Uriarte. Yeah. Marino took 3rd position. How about that?
Yeah.
I know he's been the talk of the paddock for the last couple of races. They really do believe him to be one of the special ones. We have seen a crop of rookies come up in the last several years who are really doing the business. He is the next in line.
Okay, so here we are, the last race of the 2025 Rookies Cup season. It's our 19th season in Rookies Cup. The Cup has been decided, but so much on the line here in these final laps, the 15 laps of Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup action for 2025. Tension